All right, so today's class is Designs 101 in Command. So right now I am on the home page or the sign-in page for Command. Agent.kw.com will bring you right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get signed in. Your username and password are actually the same as your MyKW username and password, so I will give you guys a moment to go ahead and get signed in as well. All right, so right now I'm on the sign-in page, or I'm sorry, the home page of Command. And before we go in and create any marketing materials, I'm going to go ahead and go to our marketing profile. So it's really important before you do anything in Command, whether it's create any marketing pieces or set up any emails or landing pages, what have you, you really want to make sure that all of your contact information is up to date in the marketing profile. That's where all of those pieces will generate that information from. So from this screen, I'm going to go ahead and click on my name or Scott's name up at the top right. And then we're going to click Settings. All right, from this page, we're going to go over to the left and click Connect Settings. And then Marketing Profile. All right, like I said, this is where all of your marketing pieces, your landing pages that you create, any emails, your agent website, this is where all of those things are pulling your contact and personal information from. So if we scroll down, I'll go ahead and show you the different things that you can update. Up at the top, we have your photo and your team logo. These do need to be a square to be properly formatted. If you upload just a regular image that's not a square, it might make your face kind of warped. They do recommend this 360 by 360 size. So you can add in your photo and your logo here. And then down below, personal details. So anything with this red star, of course, is required. So first name, last name, you can add in your agent license number, your team name, any designations or credentials, and then a bio. And then I will point out, if you have gone through our setup process and filled out our questionnaire, we actually do go through this and fill out this profile for you, but if you ever need to come back and make any changes, this is where you would go. So your bio here, and then more required information, mobile phone, office phone, email. You can add in a fax if you'd like, and then your website. Market center or brokerage logo. And then we need your market center name, market center phone number again, and then the address. Make sure that this is your office address and not your home address. Legal footer here. And then you do have the option to add in any social media information. So you can put in your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn profile links. For these, I would recommend that you only use pages that are associated with your real estate business. I wouldn't recommend putting your personal Facebook or Twitter on here. Facebook Pixel ads and Google Analytics. This is for not really related to today, so we'll go ahead and skip over that. And then lastly, your KW branded app link. So on some of these pieces that you create, there is a link on there that says click here to download my KW app. So you want to make sure that this link is in here. This is found in the e-agency section of MyKW. So if you guys have any trouble finding this or don't know where it is, let us know. We can definitely get that figured out for you. But once all of this information has been updated, everything looks good to go, you can click Save, and that will update right away. All right, so now let's go into designs and we can start to create some pieces. So I'm going to go over to the left to where all these icons are, and we will click Designs. This was previously called Sketch House. So So it's like a little notepad and a pen, or maybe a tablet and a stylus. You can click on that. All right, and this brings us into the design section within Command. So here right now it's showing us our design templates. It says My Design Templates at the top, and you can kind of scroll around through these. Right now we are looking at these email. No, I don't know what it was showing us first. But you can click on these different options up here to see email pieces you've created, landing pages, social pieces, print, and then agent sites. So you can scroll through here, see the different pieces you've created. If you wanted to create something new, all you would need to do is go to the bottom right and click on the plus sign. All right, and now we are going to create a new design. So it asks which template we would like. We have email, social, and print. I'm going to start with social. We're going to do some social and some print today. All right, so I'm going to choose that. If you wanted to, you can also click this little checkbox to import photos and text from a listing. I'll go ahead and do that maybe on a print one, but for social, I'm going to skip that. And then all you need to do is click Create Design, and what it's going to do is bring us over to a website called WeBrand. So I was already signed in. A lot of times it may bring you to like a MyKW login page, and you will need to sign in again. But don't worry, once you sign in, it will direct you to WeBrand. All right, so I clicked on social. So what this is doing is it's giving us templates for all of these different categories for our different social media platforms. So for example, let's click on for sale. So these are for sale little marketing pieces, and they have them formatted for Facebook, Instagram. You can see that they're different sizes, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So you want to make sure once you click whatever sort of design you're looking to create, make sure you're choosing the right platform as well, because they are all formatted differently. And it looks like they're adding new designs all the time, because there's some new ones in here even from the last time I taught this class, which is awesome. But you can see there's tons of stuff over here. Stuff about your agent sites, bold, business basics, client love, testimonials. There's some event invitations here. They're kind of general, but you can spruce these up and add in the information about your event. For sale, just listed, just sold. There's a ton of stuff in here. I like the holiday greetings. There's some cute things in here. And I think they just continue to add more, so I'm pretty sure, you know, they'll have some like Christmas ones coming soon. You can go through and see how they look for the different platforms, which is great. So today, let's just do a just listed. So I clicked on just listed, and we can do either Facebook, Instagram, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, or Twitter. Let's do Instagram. Let's do Facebook. These look nicer. All right, so we can just choose whichever one of these we like. I'm going to choose this one over here on the far right. And then you just highlight this and then click the Use button. All right, so this brings us into the piece. So this is a piece formatted for Facebook, just something that you would post on your timeline for your friends to see, your friends or people who have liked your business page. So basically, editing in here is really simple. It's basically just clicking around and changing things. So for example, let's say I wanted to change out this photo. And what I'm going to do is, we can use these photos in my library, but I want to show you how we can go ahead and add a new image and throw that in the piece. So I'm going to go over to, let's say this is my agent website. I'm going to look up my listing. I'm just going to pick a random one off this. Actually, is this one already in there? No, okay. Pick a random listing off this website. Let's say this is the listing I'm looking to create the piece for, so I'm going to go ahead and save the image of the home. Save that on my computer, make sure I know where it is so I can access it again. And then in WeBrand, what I can do is, you can see this is my library of my different photos. My image is not there, so I need to click Add to Library, and this is going to allow me to upload the image from my computer. So I believe you can only store this many images in here at a time. It looks like 4 images and 4 backgrounds, so you would need to delete these. It doesn't, from what I can tell, it doesn't really matter where you add these in. So since I have space down here, I'm going to add it to the background section. So I clicked on that plus sign, and it did bring up basically like an upload screen from my computer, so I can choose the photo that I just saved. Click open. It might say upload on yours. And now this has been added to my library within WeBrand. So now when I just click out of this, we can see the home is here. So to swap this out, what I'm going to do is click on this photo here. So now I've selected it. And now I can go over to the listing photo, and this button here is for replace image. When I click on that, it'll throw it in there, and it'll actually reformat that for me. If I were to drag this over, I would have to do like some resizing, and it gets a little tricky, but if you just use that replace button, it'll throw it in there for you and make it look nice. So yeah, you can, if you want to, go ahead and just click on this. I do love that with this program they have the grid line, so it makes it really easy for lining things up and making sure everything is really symmetrical. So that looks great. Now we can just change out the text. Oh, obviously we need to put in the address. So what I'm doing is double clicking on the text, and then I can go ahead and delete. What is the zip on this? 37064. There we go. So you can see this didn't really have enough space. This is kind of a long property address. So I can go ahead and expand this. You'll expand it this way as well. I'm going to take, So you get the general idea. So you basically can just play around in here, format things to make them look, you know, however you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Make sure that this is centered by using the text alignment tool. There we go. And then let's just grab this and make sure that it's there. There we go. So you can see that grid line popped up. So now this little block of text is centered with this above here. So that looks pretty good to me. If you wanted to, of course, you can click on this again. There are different font choices that you can use. There's quite a few in here. You can, of course, change the font size. Oh, I don't want to change this. Okay. You can change the font size, the font color, the formatting, what have you. So that looks pretty good. So we do need to switch out this logo up here. I don't have, let's see if I have one on my computer where I can get one actually cut out like this, because I only have this white background one here, so that's going to look a little funky on top of this red rectangle. So I'm going to click Add to Library and go to Backgrounds again. Actually, let's just go ahead and delete this logo. There we go. So now that is gone from my library, and I can click the plus sign here to add a new image. And I think I have some office logos in here. Yeah, I have Miami Lakes. So I'm going to find a version of that logo that is white with the background cut out. So thankfully I do actually have that saved. I think I want this one. Alright, so since it's white, we can't see it, but I do believe that it's actually there. So when I click out of here, yep, there we go. So I added my Miami Lakes logo. And for those who don't know, this is available, your office logos, within my KW. If you actually go into mykw.kw.com and click on marketing at the top, there's a place for logos and graphics, and you can download the logo for your specific office. And as you may have seen in that folder I was just in, there are different formats. They have them for print, for web, in different colors. So if you are creating marketing pieces, you can find a specific logo that works for whatever piece you're working on. So I do want to switch this out. This one, for some reason, it doesn't, when I do the logo, it doesn't have the replace button. So I'm going to try a couple different things. Usually, so I was watching a video of one of my oh, is this going to work? No. Okay. So I did replace and it just plugged it in. Sometimes you can drag over some of these and it will replace it, but I don't think that works with the logo specifically for some reason. So what I'm going to do is just click on this, the logo I want to get rid of, and then I can hit delete on my keyboard or hit this little trash can button for remove. I'm just going to hit delete, and there we go. So now what I can do is click on the logo I do want to use and drag it over. You can see obviously it's a little too big, so I can drag the corner and make it smaller and then center it within this section. So there we go. That looks pretty good. So as you can see, pretty simple to swap these things out. So this piece, you can see it doesn't have a ton of detailed information. This is just like the image that you're putting in that Facebook post. And then down below in the body of the post is where you would want to put in the information. So if I were to post this for somebody, I would create this image, and it's very simple. It just says the address, and then, you know, schedule a showing, yada yada. And then in the body of the Facebook post where you actually type, I would probably put in the property description, and then it would be good to go. And that would be a perfect example of a Facebook post. And we actually do posts like that for our clients. So this just gives you a really beautiful piece, attention-grabbing piece to put on your timeline. So this looks good to me. I'm happy with it. So up here now we need to save it. So this is the piece name currently. It's like just listed Facebook 1. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click up here and highlight that text and delete. And I'm going to say, I'll just say Captain Freeman just listed FB for Facebook. So that actually, you can see it just automatically saved for me, so that's great. And now what I can do is I can go to this download button up here at the top right. It's just a little arrow pointing down, and then when you highlight it, the full download button appears. So I can click on that, excuse me, and it gives me a few different options. I can download a JPEG, a PNG. I would say either of these is totally fine. PNG is more for excuse me, logos like this where the background is cut out, so pieces where you need a transparent background. PNG is the format you would want to save that as. And then PDF, this is really for print pieces, and we're going to go through and do a print piece after that, so we would want to save that as a PDF. But either one of these would be fine. You definitely want to make sure it's high quality, so it's nice and crisp, nothing's blurry, and you can see the file size really isn't large at all, so you shouldn't have any issues emailing this, posting it, what have you. So now what I can do is click Start Download. And this should, in a moment, download to my computer. There we go. Now it's giving me the option to save. Make sure when you're doing this you know where your files are saving so you don't have to go through like a huge scavenger hunt to try and find them. But I'm going to pop this open so you can see exactly what that looks like. There we go. Wow, so this is beautiful. And you can see it's pretty clear, everything looks good, and you can now post this on Facebook. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and go back, and I do want to show you how we can create some more pieces in here. So it's all basically the same process, which is really nice. You can tell that this is really simple, easy to create. Actually, what happens? Okay, this is just my library. So right now we are still in these social pieces. So to switch gears and now go to a print piece, I do have to go all the way back. I think I have to hit back again. We need to go back into command. There we go. So if you hit back a couple times, you'll see that the URL will change over from WeBrand to command. So we do need to go back to that designs screen in command, and now we can choose to create a different type of piece. So we're back on designs. I'm going to click the plus sign, and this time choose print. And let's see if we can do a property photo really quick and see if KWLS will import our information for us. So let's say I want to do like an open house flyer or something like that. I'm going to choose print, and then I'm going to click this little checkbox for import photos and text from a listing, and then do create design. So this does bring up that KWLS screen. Right now it's showing it's showing all listings. So you can switch between all listings or only my listings. There we go. So sometimes if you just refresh that, it'll then start to generate. So let's see. So the KWLS is still, I'd say, a work in progress. There have been some delays with listings coming over and then photos and information coming over. So you can see some of these say like photo not available. So definitely come here and look. It may or may not be available, but I've heard it's about at like 80% capacity. So you should hopefully be able to find the information you need. I'm just going to pick a random one from here because, well, let's see if the one we're actually working on has, no. Okay, so, oh, there it is. That must be old. Okay. So I was able to find my listing, and I do see the photo, so hopefully this will generate for us. So I looked up the listing by the address. I found it here, and I'm going to click select. And now it brought me back over into WeBrand. So now I'm in print pieces, and you can see all of our different print pieces we have available over here. They do have some business cards, things like that. So what I'm going to do is, let's do for sale. Or let's do just listed. All right, so we're going to do just listed, and now we can look at the different formats. So they do have door hangers in here, flyers, trifolds, which is really nice, postcards, portrait postcards, and standard postcards. So I'm going to choose a flyer. How did you get that listing to that template? So what I did, let me just go, I'll go back really quick because that was pretty simple. So from this screen in command, hopefully you're on, I'm in designs in command. So from here what I did was I clicked the plus sign. I chose print to create a print piece, and then to have a listing pull over. So you can, but you would have to just manually update the information. So what I did was I clicked import photos and text from a listing, and then when I hit create design, that's when it pulled up this KWLS screen, and I was able to search for the listing. So for a coming soon, obviously the listing would not be in here yet, which is totally fine. You would just have to manually upload the photos and the text, basically like what I did on that previous piece where I uploaded the photo from my computer. You can still do that, but this, if you are doing something for an active listing, this kind of just like takes out a step for you because it imports that information from KWLS. So let me see if I can find this again. Select, okay. So that was how I selected that listing. And now I'm going back into WeBrand, and I'm going to choose just listed, and then flyer. And I'm just going to do a simple one. So we'll choose this one in the middle. I'm going to click use, and then cross our fingers. Hopefully when we go in, it'll allow us to upload our information. So now, I believe what we do, so you can see our flyer over here, And there is a little zoom in feature down at the bottom because you can see it's kind of hard to see everything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to KWLS. Perfect. So now, before I was on images, and these are all different things that we can upload from WeBrand. So I was in images, these are mine. But if I go to KWLS, since we selected that listing ahead of time, it's now pulling all of this information over. And we can see the photos and then the listing details. So this is all info that we can add in, which is awesome. And then if we needed to, even if you didn't select a listing from the beginning, you can click KWLS. You can actually search for the listing here as well. Well, let's go ahead and just switch out the photos and stuff. So what I'll do is click on this photo here, go over to the main image of the home and hit replace image. And that's going to plug that in. And then it didn't put in our information automatically, so I will go ahead and swap that out as well. Actually, we'll come back to that. All right, so let's go over to listing details. So now if we go over to, let's say we want to switch out the property description. Let me see if I can find that in here. Here we go. So I think what we would just do is go over here. This is my property description. Hopefully you guys can see that behind the support button. And if I hit replace, perfect. So you basically just go through here and click on the different things you want to update, and it will, if you hit that replace button, it will swap that out. So you can see I had the generic property description here. I found my property description under the listing details. Oh, and if you highlight it, it actually shows you a preview, which is cool. But I hit replace and it plugged it in. So that looks good. Let's see, up at the top we have the property information. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm not sure. Yeah, so this might be, you can see it just plugged in the 3 when I hit replace. So I'm going to hit back. And we do have these backward and forward buttons up at the top. So I'm going to undo that change I just made. And for these, I'm just going to manually type it in. So 3 bedrooms, actually it's 4 bedrooms, and then 3.5 bathrooms. I'm just going to manually do that. How many square feet? 2780. And then built in 2013. And of course, this is just a guideline. You can of course switch this out if you want to use different information. Let's switch out the property address. And I'm just double clicking on these to basically open them up so I can change out the information. There we go. That looks a little cramped now, so I'm going to grab this text and just move it down a smidge. Cool. That looks good. I actually want to make my property description a little bigger. The text is a little hard to read. It's not letting me replace the main picture, and it did not replace it to the KWLS listing it accessed. So were you able, if you were able to locate the listing, did it have the photos in there? Because like I said, for some of these listings, it did. Okay, interesting. So for that, we may need to take a closer look at it, because yeah, you saw, oh, it actually backtracked. So maybe I'm having the same issue too. I don't know. So basically all I did, you can see, was click it and then replace it. So if you want to, you can give us a call or shoot us an email. We can have somebody actually go in and take a closer look, because it should be that simple. If you need to, you can also go through the steps like I did at the beginning where I uploaded the photo. I know that's not as convenient, but that is an option as well. If you're in a bind and you need to make something quickly and this isn't working, you can manually upload the photos. But yeah, after class, if you want to reach out to us, we can, help take a closer look. But, that's definitely how it should be working. But I'm going to go ahead and make this text bigger. Oop, and then it looks like some of my lines you can see the formatting is a little funky. So I'm going to okay. Yeah, you might just have to monkey around with that. There are also, yeah, I would just play around with it, see if you can, resize things, drag and drop. There are buttons on here, like over here, let's see, arrange, so you can like move things forward and backward. Yeah, so it's really just, clicking around on here and seeing what works best. I'm sorry, unfortunately, without seeing it, I can't really visualize what's going on fully, but I'm glad you figured it out. That's awesome. Alright, so I actually just reformatted this text. It was a little funky, and it looks like I accidentally made it bigger, so there we go. So I made my text just a little bit bigger, a little easier to read. I want to switch out Scott's photo and a logo here, so I'll go ahead and click on this. And right now I'm in KWLS, but I'm going to go back to images, and I actually have Scott's photo here. So I have this clicked, it's selected, and now I can click replace image. It'll pop Scott in there. I'll just replace his information really quick. Actually, that kind of looked nice in all caps. There we go. And let's just pretend that that's his contact info. But you guys get the general idea. You're clicking around, adding things. Looks like I do need a logo here with color, not that white with the background cut out. So I will click Add to Library. I'll go ahead and just add in a new logo. And I just went and found that logo on my computer. I already had it downloaded. Now it's in my library. And like I said, with the logos, replace doesn't work. So I'll just go ahead and delete that. And then I can actually drag this over. Yeah, so for some of these you can drag it and you can see it will replace it when you hover over it. But I just want to pop this in here. You can drag it, make it smaller. And then add it in. Maybe make it a little smaller. There we go. So my flyer looks pretty darn good, I'd say. So of course, make sure you're saving along the way, just in case, something, your internet goes out, computer, freaks out, shuts down your screen. It's always a bummer to lose your work when you're working on a piece. So I'm going to save this. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to hit the download button. And this time I'm going to do Get PDF because for these print pieces, we do want to make sure that it's nice, high quality, so when we print it, it's going to be much bigger than this. Nothing is fuzzy. So I'm choosing Get PDF. And under quality, it has standard web quality. So even though this is a print piece, you can actually save this as a JPEG or a PNG and then post it on Facebook, email it, what have you. But since we want to print this one specifically, I'm choosing PDF. And then under Change Quality, I'm going to choose High Resolution Print Quality. And then I can click Start Download, and this is going to save the PDF to my computer. And now, once we pop this open, maybe, I'm just waiting for this to Hello? Oh, it's loading slowly but surely. Okay, so there's my PDF. So this is now saved to my computer. You can see this looks really nice, crisp. I love the designs in WeBrand. I think they're really modern and nice. And now I can print this. I'd recommend buying a nice pack of paper, printing it out your office. That'll save you some money and some time. Or you can send this to, you know, Staples, what have you, and have them print it as well. But there you go. There's your file. We're going to do one more thing in WeBrand before we switch gears because I do want to show you some of the templates on our website as well. So I'm going to hit back. I'm going to go up to the top left and click on this little KW with the left arrow. That's going to take me out of that design I was currently working on. So now we're still in print pieces. And I want to show you the neighborhood snaps. Actually, I'll just go through these really quick. Lots of different things in here, like, you know, flyers, just listed, just sold. You know, there's door knockers, door hangers, things like that. There are actually listing presentations in here as well. I won't have time to go over these today, but really beautiful listing presentations that you can customize. And then I wanted to point out the neighborhood snaps. So these are really cool, great for door knocking. So they have flyers, door hangers, and postcards. So let's just do a flyer really quick. So I'm going to choose this one here, the second one. So this is basically an informational piece about a specific neighborhood, and we'll get a closer look at that when we go into it. So I'm going to click Use. All right. So I'm going to scroll in so you can get a better idea of what this looks like. So this says your market is on the move, and then it has, this looks like it's about an area called Barton Hills. Barton Hills is extremely desirable, list prices, yada yada. So some general information, and then down here at the bottom right, it's kind of blurry, but you can see that it has a map of the area. I think it has like the average price and then some stats on that. So what we're going to do to swap this out with a neighborhood that we want to work with, we're going to go over into this section here and click on KWLS again. And it does bring up that listing I was just working on, so I'm going to hit back. So you wouldn't want to go through listings because this is not a piece on a specific listing, but a neighborhood. So I'm going to switch over and click on snapshots. And now we can search for a neighborhood. So I'm in Nashville, so let's just go ahead and see what Nashville neighborhoods we have in here. So I type that in and hit enter. And you can scroll through and see the different areas. I'm going to find one. Downtown. Let's see if there's info on downtown. So for some of these, yeah, it says not applicable, but keep checking back because they are adding more and more as time goes on. I'm trying to find the one I did earlier because I know it had information. Wedgwood, Houston? Let's see. So you can scroll through, of course, search for your neighborhood. There we go. So it did generate that information. So for this specific neighborhood, you can see it has information about the listing. So total active, total pending, average days on market, and the average price per square foot. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, click on this. There we go. All right, so I want to replace this because this is not the neighborhood I'm creating this flyer for. So I click on this, it's selected, and then when I go over to this for Wedgwood, Houston, I'm going to hit the replace button. And you can see that plugged it in and it resized it, and now people can get that information about this neighborhood. So this up here, these little blurbs, you would need to add that in yourself. It doesn't give you text, but you can basically follow this prompt and switch it out. So I would double click on this and say change out the neighborhood. So Wedgwood, whoops, Houston is an extremely desirable neighborhood, and then it did get kind of funky. Okay. So they had the spacing on these kind of weird. Oh no, okay, so I just messed up. I made the whole text box go away, but thankfully I can go up to the top left and hit that back button. And I'm going to hit back a couple times because you can see they had every line spaced out. So I don't want to go through that and hit enter. Oh goodness, so it's going letter by letter. So I'm hitting back a million times. And I just want this to go back to the original way it was. There we go. Oh, did I lose this? No, we're good. I'm sorry, what was the question here? Is there a way to select based on street distance? No, unfortunately not. Not at this time. We are hoping that as time goes on, they do give you more specifics, because you can see there isn't like a whole lot of information on these neighborhoods. So unfortunately not. So hopefully they will, make that available as time goes on. But like I said, for these up here, you would have to add in the information yourself. So hopefully you know some cool little tidbits about this neighborhood that you can throw on this flyer. Maybe you don't want this puppy up here. He's really cute. But I do want to point out, so from here, what we can do, if we want to switch him out, there are some great stock photos within WeBrand as well. So I'm going to go back up to images. And then if I click on, we were in my library, these are our images that we've imported. If we click company, we can then go to KW stock images. And you can see all these different stock photos that you can use. So I probably want one of maybe a house. There's a lot of families on here. Well, let's do this one. Let's just pick one. All right, look at this happy little family looking out the window. Perfect. So you can choose any of these stock photos, upload your own photos. You can basically completely customize this. Of course, again, down at the bottom, we do want to add in our information. So same steps. You guys have seen me do this a million times already, but I'm going to click on that, replace the image, throw Scott's face in there, replace the logo, which it doesn't let me replace it. Oop. It's not letting me click it either. There we go. Delete that. Oh, add over my logo. Drag it, resize it, line it up. Looks good to go. So super easy, really easy to add in the information based on your neighborhood. Like I said, if you don't have your neighborhood, keep checking back because they are working on adding this in all the time. New things every day in Command. So once this is good to go, same process. I'll say Wedgwood, Houston, Wedgwood, Houston, snap. And then I can download it to my computer, print it, and now I have a really great piece to door knock with. So that's about it for WeBrand. As you can tell, it's kind of the same process for all of the pieces. Oh, I thought I did save it. Well, it's nice that it reminds you that you needed to save. But yeah, lots of great things in here. I do really like the designs. I think editing in here is really simple, really user-friendly. So definitely utilize these pieces. I do want to switch gears just a little bit before we wrap up today and show you some of the pieces that are available on our website. So now I'm at scottleroymarketing.com. And actually, let me sign out so I can go through. No, so a multi-page post for Facebook, that would not work. So for posting on Facebook, they only allow you to post individual images or a video. So you can add multiple photos to one post, but it wouldn't be something like you could scroll through or anything like that. Like it's just like you're uploading photos to Facebook, if that makes sense. So those pieces in there under social, if you click on Facebook, you can see it's usually just like a flat image. All right, so back at scottleroymarketing.com, we have some really great templates on here as well. So this is our homepage. I'm going to scroll down and go to KW Resources. I can highlight that, and then the last option here is for templates, and I'm going to click on templates. So if you're signing on to our site for the first time, it will ask for a login. And for us, we're not looking for your MyKW password. We're looking for your Market Center number. Some of the market centers have a unique password, but for probably 99% of you, it's just your Market Center number. If you don't know that, it is at the top right-hand corner of your MyKW homepage. It's also at the end, likely, of your MCA's email. Usually your MCA's email is something like klrw365@kw.com. That number is actually your Market Center number, but if you have trouble finding it, call your office or ask us and we can locate that for you. So make sure you're typing in the correct office number and hit login, and that will bring you into our website. So scottleroymarketing.com/templates will bring you here as well. And if we scroll down, there's a couple things I want to point out. So please note, these templates do require a kw.com email or Gmail to use further. So our templates are set up through Google Slides, so you do need to log into a Gmail. Lucky for you, if you don't have Gmail you're using, your kw.com email is actually through the G Suite, so you would need to you can log into that and utilize it that way. So up at the top, this video is really important. So this video here walks you through the process of creating an email signature. But no matter what you're creating, it is the same process, and I will touch on that quickly today by going through an email signature, but you do need to make sure that you're logged into Gmail and you watch this, because there are some specific steps you need to take to create the piece. So I'll go ahead and scroll down, but you can scroll through and see we have a bunch of different templates on here, different flyers, calendars, lots of good stuff, but the main thing that people come to us for would be email signatures. So these are in alphabetical order. We do have like Facebook cover photos, holiday pieces, lots of good stuff. But a lot of people utilize our email signatures, and these are totally free. So I'm going to scroll down and click on the button for email signatures, and you can see that now brings me into a separate page in Google Drive. We have 4 different folders here: modern email signatures, normal email signatures, vertical email signatures, and widescreen. I'm going to choose modern, so you can just click on whatever folder. We have a bunch in here, so definitely click around and find the one that you like the best. And you can see we have a bunch of different templates in here. Just click this first one. Double click on the signature you'd like to create, and then what it does is it brings you into Google Slides. So editing in here is kind of similar to editing in PowerPoint. So there's 3 different slides over here on the left. This one would be the signature itself, and then this one with the big scary red message. Basically what this is saying is if some of our pieces have like social media icons on them, this message here is telling you that this signature is not going to be clickable. So it's not HTML optimized. Individual elements on this signature will not be clickable. Like I wouldn't be able to, if this was attached to my email, somebody wouldn't be able to click on this and then have it, redirect them to my email. They wouldn't be able to click on a Facebook link and be brought to a Facebook page. This is just going to save as a flat image. So I would say don't even put your social media icons on here at all. I would put them down below in your email, and you can hyperlink them that way. But you can see right now I can't actually make any changes. I'm clicking around on here, but it's not allowing me to do anything. So what you don't want to do is go here to view only. We get a lot of requests from people who click on this and it says request edit access. Unfortunately, we can't grant you access to our master files. So what you need to do is we're going to go up to File, and then add to my drive. And basically what this is going to do is create a copy added to my Google Drive, and then I'll be able to edit it. So for me, sometimes this acts a little funky, so I'm going to click Make a Copy. There we go. So when I do, I think because my account is maybe attached to Scott's account, but I believe when you do that, add to my drive, it should automatically do what it's doing now. Excuse me. And now you can see it opened up a new window, and I am actually able to edit this. So now, super simple, I can click on this, change out the information. Oops. I like just blanked out on our phone number. I don't think that's our phone number. 321-236-2. Yeah, I don't know. So I can add in our information. So definitely want to add in your personal information. That's a little too big, so I'll highlight this, make it just a little bit smaller. All right. So you can change this out. You get the general idea. And now for these ones, for the email signatures. Ooh, oh no. Oh, I accidentally hit something on my phone and it tried to FaceTime. That was really weird. All right, so for these email signatures, and it goes through this in the video as well. I'm just running through this super quickly for today's class. Let's say we finish this, everything looks great. Now what we'll do is we want to save this. So I'm going over to File, and we're going to go to Download. And instead of downloading this as a JPEG or a PNG, when you do that, it does kind of it reduces the quality of the email signature. So what we want to do now is actually download this as a PDF. Save that to our computer. And now what we'll do is we go to PDF to jpg.net. So what we're doing, we save that as a PDF, and now we're going to convert it to a JPEG. So when we save the PDF, it gave us a really nice, large, high-quality print version of that, but you can't attach a PDF to your email signature, so now we need to convert it to a JPEG. And I know that kind of sounds like a weird, silly extra step, but when you save it from a JPEG directly from here, the quality is reduced, so it doesn't look great attached to your email. So this is how we've discovered to get the best high-quality email signature that's not fuzzy. So this website, I know, looks a little sketchy, PDF to jpg.net. But basically, super simple. Just make sure you're not clicking on the ads that are trying to trick you. If you scroll down and go to choose a PDF file, I can find my PDF on my computer, there we go. Choose my PDF. You can see it's here, and then over on quality, make sure that this is changed to excellent. And when I hit convert PDF to JPG, it now converted that. So it did give me 3 different pages because there are 3 different slides on this specific email signature. So we only need page 1, so I'll go ahead and download that. This is going to save that email signature now as a JPEG file, and I'll see when we open this up. There we go. So you can see it's a little fuzzy, but obviously your email signature is not going to be this big. So when you reduce it down to like what it's actually going to be, probably something like that. That's probably about the right size. That looks good. So now you have this saved as a JPEG that you can now go in and attach it to your email. So that is that. So I know I went really quickly on that email signature. So I would say if you guys are creating any templates or using any templates on our website, make sure to watch this video here. It goes through it nice and slowly, super detailed. I'm kind of scrolling through it right now. You can see he goes through the whole process and then actually shows you how to attach it to your Gmail as well. But if you guys have any questions, if you're using our templates or any of the templates in WeBrand, definitely reach out to us. We are happy to help. But that is actually about it for today's class. So thank you guys for sticking around on a Friday. This was our first Designs 101 class, so it was super fun to teach. I do want to point out our contact information. So we are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on emails and 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern on phones. So feel free to reach out to us here on either one of these options if you guys need anything else. But thank you so much. We will talk to you soon, and I hope you have a great weekend.